How are you guys? I hope you must be doing wonderfully well. So, today we are actually looking forward a wonderful solution for you all. Yes, it's about essay once more, and I would like to thank you all the viewers who have responded so positively to our previous videos. So today, on all your concerns, we are bringing forward how to write an essay introduction for writing task 2. So never miss out on this. Well, I would have mentioned in the previous videos as well that for writing, how important it is to maintain a positive structure. So in this concern, here today we are presenting how we can write in some easy steps a successful introduction. Well, for that we need to understand a few things, how we can write a proper content into the introduction. For that we have something for you in form of a question. Can you have a look over here? As we have mentioned a particular topic which suggests some people believe that for better development of children, schools should include extracurricular activities in the main subjects. Just to make it more prominent, what you can do is go through the question randomly. As long as you are not completely confident with the topic, you must not have your final proceedings. So, what we should do before we initiate into the essay? One thing which I have mentioned in my previous video, you should take care of 3 basic elements, what they are. So here, please pay attention. I'm going to jot down those things for you. Well, point number 1, you need to take care the scope of the essay. Now, what does the scope means? Now, scope basically means the crisis point of the essay. Well, I must tell you, a lot of time we people don't actually bother about to find what actually the crisis is. We just randomly begin and try to paraphrase something. Yes, you might come up with a positive paraphrasing, but we must not forget that writing is just as equal to an ocean. So as you move further, you will dive into the deeper sections and you might get derailed from the main content. That's where it's very important that we should pack our bags up beforehand and do all your plannings which we need to put forward and write a successful essay. So in this concern, I have one suggestion to all the aspirants is to find out the scope of your essay. Now, how to find the scope of the essay? Now, one thing you need to understand is you should be aware about your topic. Now, this is basically a topic sentence, and every topic basically develops out of a crisis. So we need to basically find out the crisis point. Yes, you heard it right. It's the crisis point we need to find out. Now, can you just pay attention to the question? Some people believe, now this is a complimentary thing, that for better development. Now guys, you can see here, the question says for better development. So the particular topic is focusing about the development. Now, for whom? It's for children. So we are basically focusing about the development of children. So who need to pay attention? It is the schools. In which way? By including extracurricular activities. Yes, absolutely. And they need to include them, they need to merge them into the main subject. As we all know that the extracurricular activities in many forms of education is not included into the mainstream of the subjects. However, they are the part of the additional subjects. So in this concern, a lot of people might have a concern that whether they should include, they should not include. So that is where this topic is again become a debatable concern. So here the focus, let me just give you a quick review out here. So here the crisis point as a scope we can find, ultimately we are talking about development. Alright, development. Whose development? Child's development. But again I have a question, guys. If you just simply write a development, then it's not the way you can find out a proper balance in your coherence while you write an introduction. So what we need to look forward is, the education system is already helping the students to improve their psychological development, to have their psychological development rather, but by including the extracurricular activities, what we can bring is their psychological development also. So a term which I like to include over here, that is holistic development. Yes, so this is what the scope of our essay is. So this will really help you to maintain a streamlined development. I would say a proper stable progression in throughout the essay, because now you are well aware what your essay is basically asking. Moving forward, once you are done with your scope, it's time for the keywords to have a look on. So if you just closely examine your topic, you need to focus on some of the keywords. Well, the keywords I will just take forward because we are trying to keep things simple so that every aspirant from whatever kind of mindset they have, they'll be able to assess properly. So here I'm taking a keyword, believe. Now you might find this word very common in most of the essay topic. So as in the introduction, what we generally present is a paraphrasing content. So what are the 4 elements of the introduction? It contains a background along with a detailed background. Finally, we have a thesis followed by an outline rather. So what we need to focus out here, how you can merge all those elements in a paraphrasing manner. So I am taking a word believe. Afterwards, let's look forward to the next keyword, that is development. Okay, so now we need to find an alternative of these words, guys. So believe, again I would put this as a formal word, but still there are many other words which you can use as an alternative of believe. Now one of them is perceive or perception. I'll show you how it does work. And for development you can use growth. For this you can use progress as a synonym. And for further, okay, you can talk about excel, and yeah, of course you can change the formation of word as per requirement. Apart from this, the next we have the word children. Yes, it is a keyword. So for children you can add, there are plenty of options for you, but I would rather recommend that if you are using formal vocabulary which is having a global impact, it would be rather better. So for children, people talk about kids, people talk about child, but of course we do have those words, but they are not formal at all. So now let's talk about what else we can bring instead of children. Well, we can have a wonderful word which is quite relevant, is adulation. I hope you have heard this, adulation. Afterwards, which is again a suitable synonym, that goes juvenile. Guys, do you know what this adulation means basically? Well, generally the childhood has been divided into different layers. If we just give you an example, now the adulation part, technically it's approx till 12, and if it goes further, then for juvenile it is nearly 16. So you can use either of them. It would be rather a suitable option for you. So children, for children you can use adolescent, you can use juvenile, right? And if you are talking about something very smaller, okay, in the context of education, then you can use pupils as well. There is no discrimination when we talk about the words. Now, so we are almost done with this. Okay, there are certain things. Now, one final word which we would like to include over here is extracurricular. Yes, it's extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities. Now, extracurricular activities. Now, generally, what extracurricular includes? When you can talk about sports, you can talk about art and craft. You can talk about. You can include in art and craft the music, the dancing, whichever generally you do apart from your academics. Yes, apart from the academics, whatever the external activities you perform, that we can include in the extracurricular activities. So what do you know any I would say alternative? Yes, I have one in mind, that is recreational activities. Absolutely, recreational activities which helps the young minds to empower themselves to do something away from their general learning. So we are almost done, guys. Now this much of planning you should be having. You need to find out the scope. Obviously for this you need to focus basically on the crisis point. Now one tip, a secret tip I'll give you. If you find crisis point is really difficult to find, I'll give you a mantra, and that is you should be focusing on why. You should be asking a question, why the topic has been decided. Trust me, this is a magic word. It helps you to bring out all the answers which is residing in the question. So yes, if you just, let's talk about, let me give you an example here. Why people want children to include, schools to include extracurricular activities into the mainstream of the subject. Then you might wonder, you might think of it that already the students are going through an education where they are learning all the kind of things. But something in this modern day education we have forgotten is some physical outdoor activities. So perhaps the people having a concern that although the students are finding their growth, they are finding better academic scores, but at the same time they are not finding their feet on the cutthroat competitive parameters. So for this, if they are including extracurricular activities, it would be a wonderful thing. So having academics with extracurricular activity, what we can have? We can have an overall development. Now, for an overall development where your mind, your body, your spirit will get enlightened. So if you need to sum up all these three elements in one word, here you are. This is holistic development. Then once you are done with the scope, you should go forward for the keywords. So in the keywords, I've already showed you that how you should work it out. It is going to be a word bucket which you can use anywhere you want. Now after we are done with the scope, we are done with the keywords, the last element which I would strongly recommend is to pay attention in the instructions. Okay, the instructions is very, very crucial, because without instructions we cannot move an inch. So what the instruction is, just please have a look here. So they are basically instructing us or asking to what extent do you agree or disagree. So they are asking our opinion. So the instruction is asking, do we agree or disagree? Now, we will be surely talking about the type of essays in the coming videos. Sure, you will stay till then. And so these three elements you must be taking care, guys. The scope, the keywords, Now the instructions. So we are not done. Still you have done almost 20 to 30% of your task. So before commencing forward, what else we need to take care of? Now, still we are not done with an introduction, because you need to go for a proper planning. We will show you how to make the paraphrasing, but till then you have to wait, and we'll show you how to make your points forward. Guys, a very important section comes here, that you have to take a side whether you are agreeing or you are disagreeing. So for that section, you cannot make an instant decision. You are not going you know, to an ice cream parlor and going to find an ice cream which is suitable, because if you have, you know, a wrong choice, if you go for a wrong direction, your entire essay will suffer. Let's suppose if the dominating point are on the agreement side, but you are still writing on the disagree, you are supposed to, you know, take away all your hard works in just a blink of an eye. So therefore, I'll just show you how you can plan your stuff. Now this is where you can see I have divided the agree and disagreement sides. So here, let's suppose you always need to believe that which side you are inclining, because we do have a strong gut feeling. We say that after reading the question, we feel that okay, this is one side and this is the other, which can help us to make an easy segregations. Now I'll show you how to make the point. So the first side we have on agreement. If we just closely follow, people believe for better development of children, schools should include extracurricular activity. Well, if you ask my strong opinion, I would say yes, wonderful, go for it. I guess students will find a sigh of relief. They're already too busy. They are doing multiple things, multitasking in their curriculum, and ultimately they are reaching nowhere. So I guess it's more obvious that we should go with agreement side. So what and how we can frame the reason? I would recommend, well, including extracurricular activity would help them to feel little stress-free. Yes, I guess the first reason which I can put forward is it can be a stress buster. Exactly, guys. It is going to be a stress buster for them. If we include extracurricular activities into the school regular subjects, then for sure they will find a way out and do something greater than only performing academics. Now, you can look forward to the other side as well, but still if you have a strong opinion waiting on the agreement side or whichever side you're going for, you should give all your best effort. Now this is called brainstorming. We are going for the brainstorming, so don't panic before you write an essay. I will say that keep things easier. Once you are done, once you are prepared, trust me, you can write a flawless work. So now, next reason, if I have to include in the agreement side, I would say that having an option of extracurricular activities, a lot of students would get an option to, I would say, they'll be able to find their hidden potential. Absolutely. So this can be a point. They would recognize the hidden potential. Yes, guys. So this is the part here. You can find that having the inclusion of extracurricular activities, they would be able to recognize the hidden potential. I hope you'll be agreeing on my reason. If you have any other points, don't miss out on pinning them in the comment section. So moving forward, guys, I don't think we have any strong reason as the third part, and anyhow we have to write 2:1 framing for the entire essay. Means 2 reasons on the side which you are inclining with and 1 side on which you are having a contrasting view, because they are asking to what extent. It's very important, we need to understand to what extent means we have to put the range of opinion. Now on the other side, the disagree, we have to write an alternative. So let's suppose, guys, who will be unhappy from the extracurricular activities? I guess it is the parents only, because they want their children to have the success, progress. Therefore, they won't be happy enough, I guess, a few, by having an inclusion of extracurricular activities, because they might believe that it might bring distraction from the main subject. Yes, absolutely. It might bring distraction from the main subject. So guys, I guess we have made something logical. Well, for me, I've already mentioned you guys that your reasons plays a very important role while elaborating an essay. If for a second you get derailed, it is going to put a whole lot effort to raise yourself from there onwards. Therefore, your points and how you're framing them plays a huge role out there. And I strongly recommend those students who are able to frame positive thought, positive idea, they end up writing a very positive essay. Now, once we are done with it, it's time to move forward and have the paraphrasing of it. Well, let me wipe this out for you. And so, now it's time for the paraphrasing, guys. Here, if you just say, let me just give you a quick idea about the paraphrasing, how we can complete this work. So here we are. Now, I'm going to paraphrase this. Please watch out this. So let's first focus on the main subject here. I'm giving you an easy paraphrasing, although a sentence can be paraphrased in several other ways. But let's see. I hope it is going to work for you. So it is generally said that if you start an introduction with a gerund, it is going to be a band booster from an initial level. So here we could write like this: considering. Now you need to check considering what we are actually considering. Considering, just have a look here. As I said that we need to focus on the scope. So considering the holistic development, just please have a look here. Considering, some people believe that for better development of children, school should include extracurricular activities. So considering the holistic development of whom? Yes, children, of adolescents. Now, just mark out the point. Considering the holistic development of adolescents. So I'm keeping this phrase out of the concept right now, for now only. So we are focusing on the main area. Considering the holistic development of adolescents, inclusion of inclusion. Now here we have a word called include. Now we can turn this into inclusion, a different form. Inclusion of as extracurricular activity. So you cannot repeat the word. So we are taking here an alternative. Inclusion of recreational activities into the, where we are including, into the, as you can see in the main subject, into the course curriculum, See, I'm once again going, considering the holistic development of adolescents, inclusion of recreational activities into the course curriculum is highly recommended. There you are. This is a paraphrasing. Now, just have a look here, guys. While you write a paraphrasing part, you need to focus on the key elements. What I have done is basically paraphrase the elements. Okay, paraphrasing the thought. Now generally you need to understand that it's not only replacing the words, it's about paraphrasing the thought process. A lot of time I came across students, they generally get very much busy into looking forward synonyms and finding a better alternative of words. But what my recommendation is you should be having a paraphrasing of the thought. You should not focus only on words. Of course word matter, but at the same time you should be worrying about how you can paraphrase the element. Now here, as we can talk about, there are a lot of elements we should be worrying about. I cannot stop myself thinking about people who only get busy into words and vocabularies. But here you should not worry about this thing. Now we are almost done to it. Now the next element after having the paraphrase is you need to put an opinion. As the question is given, to what extent do you agree or disagree? So now let me just put forward how you can write a strong verdict. So here guys, now as it is a coherent element, you have to put hence. Well, which linker you are putting, that could vary according to the requirement of the sentence. Hence, now please have a look here. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Hence, you can say, now I'm going to write my own opinion into passive. I'm not using any of those sentences which are informal. I'm using a formal sentence. Hence, the following essay, here I'll include also because we are going for emphasizing essay, also stands with agreement. As we are going with the agree side, that's why. So hence the following essay also stands with agreement to as they have asked, to what extent? So we are saying to a large extent, because we have to maintain the ratio of 2:1. To a large extent. Hence the following essay also stands with agreement to a large extent. Now we need to put an outline. To a large extent, and here comes your outline. Now outline basically means the purpose and the reasons to support with relevant examples Now, just please have a look over here. I'm just going to repeat my words. Hence, the following essay also stands with agreement to a large extent, and the reasons to support with the relevant examples will be illustrated in the forthcoming, or as an option I would say a better word, ensuing paragraphs. Now guys, this is how your entire introduction goes, but I must tell you, now this framing out here, okay, is very crucial. You need to clarify to the examiner that which side you are moving forward with, because unless or until you'll make your recommendation strong enough, the examiner won't have that strong clarity which side you are going. So from my perspective, I would strongly recommend to all those students that they should write a very clear thesis along with an outline. So as once again, you can have a look out here. Once I have finished with the paraphrasing, you can do it the way you want, but it's simply the thought we need to paraphrase, not just the words. If you're not finding an alternative of vocabulary, you simply can write the same word, but try to rephrase the sentence instead of just copying and pasting the same way, right? So here you can look forward that how I mentioned my opinion. A lot of people would say that I should be writing I and strong point, but what I would say that as it is a formal essay, we need to use formal sentences, and somehow we need to make the coherence and a proper clarity to the examiner. You can write it in the way you want, but this is something which can help you to maintain a formal exposure to the essay. So hence the following essay also stands with agreement to a large extent. Remember guys, you need to clarify that what extent, to a large extent, and the reasons to support with relevant examples will be illustrated in the forthcoming or ensuing paragraphs. Well, there are one another type of essay we can say. One is agree, and the other one is asking you to what extent you agree or disagree. Let's suppose if you are writing, do you agree or disagree? Then in that context, what you should be focusing on, you simply remove this part. You can say that, hence, the following essay also stands with agreement, or if you are on disagreement side. Now, this part you should remove simply if you are writing agree or disagree only, and you simply add this part, and the reasons to support with the relevant examples will be illustrated in the forthcoming or ensuing paragraphs. Now, I hope this element would give you a strong clarity how to write an introduction. If you have any query, any question or the recommendation, don't miss out on pinning them or mentioning them in the comment box below out there. Till then, we meet you next time. Hopefully, you'll take care of yourself and make sure you'll keep writing.